Well, hello everybody, this is Tim Green with Rattle Magazine, and this is your open mic show for, April 19th. Thanks so much for joining me. Just got my laundry basket in the back. I actually, last week kind of jinxed myself. I said I never sleep in, and I only woke up like 15 minutes ago. So I'm scrambling to get everything up here. I haven't even put my laundry basket away from folding clothes last night. But thanks for joining me, and hope you have a great weekend. We do this Poets Respond live show every Sunday morning. It's the only news broadcast that looks at current events through the lens of poetry, which is the best way to look at it, in my opinion. Now, if you'd like to call in, we're going to talk about the poems we picked to publish this weekend. We picked 2 of them. But then we're also going to have an open mic, as always. So if you'd like to call in on the open mic, the number is 818-850-7727 by phone, or send a Skype message to Rattle Poetry, all one word. And then I'll call you back at the right time. Let's see. So if you call in, we have Caitlin B's here, Stuart Larner, a 416 number is what we have so far. And then I will put up your poem so people can read along. And that'll be a lot of fun too. Now, did the poem we published, let's see. We published 2 poems this weekend for Poets Respond. We received about 500 submissions, so it's ramping down a little bit from the peak of how many submissions we were receiving. We got almost 1,000 one week at the most of this coronavirus lockdown poetry bonanza. And we're to the point where George Belgier is calling in. He's the guest. He's the guest coming up. So on Tuesday. So maybe we'll talk to him with a news poem. I don't know. So for let's see what we got. So for Saturday's poem, this is Ode to the Store Clerk by Mackenzie Chin. And Mackenzie was a poet that she was a finalist for the Rattle Poetry Prize last year, not 2019, but 2018, I believe. And this poem, I felt this was one of those poems that, at this point, I was starting to say, I'm really looking for poems for Poets Respond, if they're about the coronavirus, to be about some different angle, because it's very similar to the time when Trump was the election was going on, and there were 1,000 poems about Trump over and over again, and a lot of them just frankly repeat themselves. And so I'm always looking for, after we publish a few that are sort of the same general idea, or the same topic or whatever, I'm trying to find things that look at the main topic everybody's thinking about from a different angle. And so I loved this poem, and I thought it was very shareable too. I thought it was the kind of poem that people would really want to pass on to their friends and people who worked in the service industry to really serve a function. Sometimes poetry sort of serves a broader function, and I thought this was the kind of poem that could be used as I wouldn't say a greeting card, but as a way to say something that you're trying to say to somebody you care about. You know what I mean? So this is Mackenzie Chin reading Ode to the Store Clerk.
Ode to the Store Clerk. O wage slave savior, buzzing fluorescent light in the blackout, Jesus walked the earth pretty low-key too, a robe and sandals for a branded apron, and what wizardry to build anything off 725, what Saint Patience paving paths from outskirt to epicenter, and what ugly twisted faces you for years have served, demands borne aloft on fancy tuna-fish breath. Angel stooped, the abuse from which your holy body has healed again and again. What valiance in your perennial boredom, oh, you map, pointing a deaf nation toward the proper aisle, direction barely deserved and unheeded anyway. A pettier god would doff its apron and curse us all, leave us to wander such consumerist deserts, bursting at the seams, empty and unsustainable, middle-class throngs barefoot and parched, no floss, no potato chips, no soap. O swollen-ankled, back-braced Moses, O immaculate single mother Mary of 4, lighting your lantern for a Forbes list couch cushion change, forgive us, the unbelievers. Unwitting warrior, we retreat, and you vanguard. Saint, we cower, and you continue.
And then Mackenzie says, this poem responds to continued developments around the current pandemic, as I imagine many poems do in this moment. It calls for greater support of the nation's essential workers, particularly the irony around their being chronically undervalued and undercompensated. And I just love that ending. We cower and you continue. Such a great way to put it. Some great poetry right there from Mackenzie Chin. And then the other poem we published this week was this morning's poem, and my first sip of coffee. Oh, that's good. Okay, so the first poem we published today is "Tree of Life" by Tashini Doshi, I should say, and here it is. And I haven't gotten in touch with her. She's in India, and with a time difference, anytime we publish somebody on the other side of the world, they tend not to be able to get me the audio until later, because if I accept a poem at 2 p.m., it's like midnight there, so they're asleep. So this is Tashini Doshi, and I'll read it for you, Tree of Life. And this poem, read this poem over and over again. This is one of those poems you can read again and again and get something new out of every time. I love poetry where I learn something, and I learned a lot reading this poem. I never knew about must, which is pretty cool. So here is me reading Tree of Life for Tashini Doshi. And the headline from the Hindustan Times was, Bengal men self-quarantine on tree to keep others safe. It could be romantic to sleep in a tree with all the sounds of the forest around, insect cacophony, elephants and moose. I have always loved the word rut, a seasonal glut, the opposite of looking through a window to a never-ending view of wives washing dishes in the sink. Simone de Beauvoir's idea of the domestic bliss. But reader, she had silk curtains and chandeliers. She had multiple lovers and appointments with Sartre in the Jardin du Luxembourg. It is dangerous to romanticize anyone's life, especially low to purge the nobility of the poor. So let me not say how much I cried watching Satchitya Ray's Panther Panchali, especially the part with the kids running through fields of cash to watch the train of modernity pass. More poignant if you know the director's wife had to pawn her jewels for the film to be made. The goodness of some women, they almost levitate, like the girl in the film Child of the Forest, how she picks thorns from her feet like stones from rice. And the crone, how I loved the crone, how all the sadness builds like a raga to bring on rain, which the girl rushes into, of course, ripples of water lilies, darting bugs, how all this joy leads to death. There were no spare rooms, is the point, in the film or in real life. There are no spare rooms, so these men who've returned from the city are put in a tree to quarantine, a tree that strangles its hosts as it walks. Munificent, shade-giving banyan that throws down roots as trunks, in whose leaves God Krishna resides. Krishna, who talked good game about the temporality of the body, while so enjoying the body, understood the material world as one big inverted banyan. But as we've stuck in this reflection, why not enjoy the fruits? Why not jump from branch to branch like a bird? Which these men do, I suppose, stationed as they are. Their good wives leave supplies at the base, rice and oil, cooking implements. It goes like this for days, the story of 7 men in a tree living through a 21st century pandemic. Men who say they're happy not to pass on any bad city virus. And because the news is so full of counterfeits and horrors, can we for once not be skeptics? Forget that the tree is moving, that one day its phantom limbs will tap against our door. Until then, can't we stand by our windows and stare at all the desolation and sweetness? Can't we adore the convoluted roots of our attachments, how they complete us? My God, how this living is a hymn. And that's Tishani Doshi. And she says about this: 7 migrant men in India are made to self-quarantine in a tree when they made the long journey back from the city to their village because their houses have no extra rooms. They seem quite cheerful about it. It's an excellent poem. I really love that poem. That I never knew about a lot of things in this poem, but the moose. I read a whole bunch of articles just out of curiosity after reading that about what moose is. I never knew that. And that is a time where elephants, male bull elephants, have so much hormone that they actually discharge a tar from their ear and this chemical that makes them sort of go crazy, and they attack anything that they come across. And it's really strange because I can't think of and nobody knows a reason why they do it. And it doesn't really make sense from an evolutionary biology perspective. It seems like it would be counterproductive in every way to kill off, potential mates and genetic offspring and things like that. So it's a strange behavior. But they say it's not a disease. It's a sign of healthiness in male elephants. So anyway, that's really interesting. And then the banyan tree is a metaphor, and just the story itself. I thought that was just such a cool little news clipping that she pulled out too, of people living in a tree to protect the rest of the village from the virus. So very cool all around. Thanks so much for sharing that, Tishini Doshi. Hope you all enjoy that. Maybe she'll give you some audio. So if you come back later in the day, maybe she'll have sent us some audio by then, so you can hear her read it and not me butchering the words. Now, let's move on to the open mic segment. And we'll do, let's see. We'll do Stuart Larner, I should say. Give him a ring. Hey, Stuart, this is Tim from Rattle Magazine. Hang on, let me pull you in just 1 second. There you go. And you're live and on camera. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Yes, very good here in Scarborough, UK.
Yeah, you called a week or two ago, right?
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, good to see you again. What do you want? How are things today? Is it any better than it was before?
It is slowing. The whole situation, I think, is calming down a bit. There's still problems about the people not getting protective equipment, but some of the sort of admissions and the virus are beginning to sort of plateau out a bit. Still quite significant, but it's calming down a bit anyway.
Yeah, very good to hear. So did you want to read? Let's see. I'm trying to find. What poem did you want to read?
Clap for Carers.
Clap for Carers. Okay. Oh, I remember reading that one from yesterday. Let me pull it up. Just 1 second. Clap for Carers. Okay, we got it.
Yeah. So the thing is that at 8 o'clock every Thursday night in this country, people come to their thresholds and cheer for the carers, that is the people who work in the hospitals and the care homes and other places that are providing sort of medical and social care for the virus. And it's quite an amazing thing to witness, to suddenly sort of not know any of your neighbours, live by them for months, not speak to them, and then suddenly everybody just explodes for about 2 minutes, and then you come back into the house again. So I'll read it, yes?
Yeah, go ahead. I have it all set.
In our hall, we'd stored best stuff to bang and honour with. Pots and pans, what we as parents had used to feed our kids. Dead on 8, we came outside to cheer and clap. We were the fireworks exploding all at once. The sky clanked too, like someone up there knew.
Yeah, thanks so much for sharing that, Stuart. I remember I love that ending.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a really good short, simple poem that says a lot. Thanks so much for sharing
Yes.
that. Appreciate it.
Thanks very much for giving me the opportunity
Yeah,
to bring it out. Yes.
my pleasure. My pleasure. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
That was Stuart Larner. Next up, we'll do Caitlin Buxbaum, another regular guest here. I wonder if, and I'm going to. I should let you know. Last time I forgot to turn off the ringtone for you, so you had to hear, and probably everybody thought I was calling you, but I have muted it this time. So let's see. Hey, Caitlin, how you doing? Okay. Yeah, it does get confusing. Well, I haven't played it yet. Okay, so here you are. Oh, there you are.
Oh,
Hello,
hello.
how you doing today?
Yep. Um, I'm doing all right. I had kind of a weird week, but that's really great, the poem from India that you read, because mine is also about
Oh, is
India.
it? Okay, cool. And let's
Um,
see, is it the same that you submitted, or did you, because you sent,
no, I actually sent you a new version on
okay,
Skype.
I will try to find it. Here it comes. Okay. Let me see, I just have to make sure it fits on the screen, and then I'll be able to show it. Let's see. This view. Hang on a second. There we go. Okay. So we are good. I have it. Up. This is The
Okay.
Good, and it's a sestina. Oh yeah, I remember this one too. So you sent this, but this is an update.
Yeah, I wrote it Friday, like a few hours before the deadline, so I felt like I didn't have as much time to work on this one, but thought I would read it in any case.
Awesome. Well, here it comes.
The Good. CNN Travel said India's 2-week lockdown has produced unintended side effects. Pollution has decreased so much the Himalayas can be seen from 100 miles away. Good air quality has been rare here, and nature is thanking her lucky stars, revealing and healing herself quicker than Twitter expected. This healing let at least one woman see, thanks to the lockdown, those peaks that valley to bless people by nature with water and shelter, though not from pollution until now. 30 years of failing to register good on India's air quality scale has ended, the Himalayas back in view. If nature had birthed the Himalayas knowing the air around it would require healing, would she have relocated? Is this kind of good worth the bad that brought us to this lockdown? I've never wanted to go to India. The pollution is only one thing holding me back. But nature can be stronger than nurture, and it's in my nature to travel. But by the time that's possible, will the Himalayas still be visible? Or will this currently receding pollution return? I don't know if I'd have cared about this healing before having heard from a high school girl in lockdown who asked me to read her poem, hoping it would be good enough for me to read on Instagram. Although good might not have been the word I'd use, perhaps nature again won out. Without this international lockdown, we might never have traveled Talkeetnas to Himalayas, writing and reading of a 15-year-old's quiet healing under a sky momentarily free of a billion's pollution. I wonder, if we can claw our way clear of this pollution of fake news to share truth in poetry, what other good might be gained? Who else among us might find healing in this insanity, this deadly solution of Mother Nature? I worry, though, our recent reverence for the Himalayas will not last beyond this infernal, internal lockdown. God help the ones who undo healing with pollution and ignore who they became in lockdown. No good will come of thwarting nature, nor hiding Himalayas.
Thanks so much, Caitlin Bucksbaum. That was the good. Thanks so much for sharing that. Another great poem. I just love these open mics. We get a lot of good stuff. Thanks for sharing that, and always good to see you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Bye. Okay, let's see. Next up, we have who is next? Let's try a phone call. Phone calls are. Oh, there's an incoming call. Maybe I'll just answer the incoming call. Hello, this is Tim with Rattle. Are you there? Hello? Yeah, just to figure out answer. Who am I talking to?
It's Frank Ortega. I entered a poem and wrote back, and I didn't know how this works, so I'm so confused because my phone, I have to watch YouTube and I can't call, so I'm borrowing my friend's phone to call, but I didn't know, do you call back the people to read if it's by phone?
You're on air right now, so I can put your poem up and you can share it.
You're kidding.
Yeah, I just,
holy
since
cow,
you're calling while I was about to call somebody else, I just figured I'd answer. So you're on air now. If let me find your poem.
Okay.
I think did you email it to
Yes.
I think you did. I think I saw.
It's in the submittable, but
And-
holy cow, I'm sorry, I didn't know that's how it worked. And there's a delay, and that's why I was so confused. 'Cause you're talking to me, but I'm watching you. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I'm
should
sorry,
warn
it's all
everybody. I should
new
warn
to me.
everybody every episode that I'm calling you from the future. So there's always there's like a minute delay as everything bounces around. Probably servers all over the world, I'd assume. So let's see. So if the poem I have from you is "Morning in a Silent Savannah Quarantine," is that what you wanted to read?
Yes.
Great.
And is my audio okay? Meaning,
Yeah, you're
the
good.
voice-
You're good.
Okay,
Mhm.
good.
And where are
All
you
right.
calling from, Frank? I can't remember. Oh, Savannah,
Oh,
Georgia.
Savannah.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
You got a lot. You're chuckling a lot. I can see that. So yeah, and then this was just by living here, and I guess the one news-related piece to this is the governor of the state was someone who just held out to the last minute, saying we don't need to social distance, and we don't need to do anything. And he even said just a few weeks ago in public, which is amazing. He said, "I did not realize the coronavirus was so infectious."
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, that was kind of a bizarre statement.
Right. But so then here in this town, we have a new black mayor, a complete change in the administration of the city in decades, like a very progressive, very, a very big change. He had just come into office, like in December, and he has put super strict things into place super early,
Mm-hmm.
but it's weird because it's one city and then the whole state coming and going in a different way. It's like living in two places at once. So
Yeah.
this is just about going out on one of those afternoons in the morning, in the old part of town, which is now it's normally so packed with people and it's just empty.
Mm-hmm.
But of course life goes on. So this is just a moment in that time.
Well, great.
And then the article was just the mayor saying that so many people aren't following the guidelines that he put out that he was thinking of doing curfew. So that was what the article, the link I sent you. So,
Mm-hmm.
All right. Morning in a silent Savannah quarantine. This little green lizard just beamed on a branch behind the rusted wrought iron fence in the yard of that strange old house that always seems empty on the ancient square in Savannah. We pull down our colorful cotton masks, stopping to watch and breathe. Just like this lizard, how his body blends with the green leaves and his tail does the tapering off in color to perfectly match the bark of the quivering twig. How he watches us as we watch him. Flowers open all around us, holding still in the moment, this moment, where parking downtown is suddenly free, but nothing is open, and there are no cars, no people, just this moment together where we can forget everything, then hold it still in more admiring awareness. And then he turns his head to look back up and is suddenly at the top of the branch, munching on a bug, grasping all he needs for existence in the blink of an eye, someone's lifetime, then goes back to the moment, that same moment that we all share and some call eternity.
Excellent. That was Frank Ortega from Savannah, Georgia, reading Morning in a Silent Savannah Quarantine. Thanks so much for calling and sharing that. That's an excellent poem. Another really just great stuff. Thanks so much for sharing it. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you.
Bye. Okay, so we have and I'm forgetting everything this morning. I'm a little discombobulated, but do if I call you, make sure you click off your YouTube stream because I'm calling from the future about a half an hour, or not a half an hour, but about a minute ahead of time, maybe half a minute. So it's a little confusing with the delay. But let's see. So we have, let's try this 416 number. I'm trying just to go in the order that calls were received. I'm not sure what 416 is, but we'll find out in just a second.
Marsha Barber.
Hey, this is Tim with Rattle Magazine. You're on the air. Would you like to read a poem?
Yes, I would. Now, I don't know either, like your last caller. I'm not sure exactly how this works. So do you need to have the poem with you? Because I sent you Keeping Him Safe, but I have another one I'd rather read. So, but you don't have it there.
You could just read it, or you could email it to me really quick, and I could put it up on screen if you have access to a computer right now.
I do.
Email it to.
Oh, but then I lose you on.
You don't, because it's just a phone call, I think.
Oh, because I'm talking to you on the phone.
Yeah.
All right. Just tell me where I send. I'm going to
email it to. I should tell everybody too. If you have a poem that wasn't submitted, you can email it to openmic@rattle.com. All one word,
okay,
open mic,
so
and that's MIC at
open
rattle.com.
mic at rattle.com. Hang on, let's just open mic MIC at rattle.com.
Exactly.
Okay, and you should be getting it any second.
Okay, let's see how fast the world works.
See if you have it. Yeah.
Come on.
Should be there.
It should.
Mm-hmm.
Marsha Barber.
Yes.
Okay, and I'll pull it up, and it's Happily Ever After.
Yeah, Happily Ever After. Would you like me to read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Happily Ever After. Every night before I went to sleep, my mother told me everything would be all right. I was safe. My 5-year-old limbs wouldn't wake with growing pains. Wild dogs wouldn't hide under the bed. Giraffes in the zoo wouldn't bite off my head. I wouldn't walk into a spider's web and become a spider's lunch. No one I loved would die. I wouldn't die in the night. Now my children ask, and I tell them everything will be all right. I don't tell them about coronavirus, people like their grandmother dying in nursing homes, not enough ventilators. I seal my lips, hold my secrets close like a goblet full of poison. Instead, I read them fairy tales about witches, goblins, giants, who are always vanquished in the end. I lie and lie and lie. Yes, I say, yes, it will be all right. And then it's time to turn out the light, to leave them all alone in their dark rooms.
Ooh, thanks for sharing that one. And that was Happily Ever After, once again, by... hang on.
Marsha Barbara.
By Marsha Barbara. That's right. Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you.
so
I'm
much,
really
Marsha.
enjoying this. There have been some fabulous poems. So thank you for
I
this.
love this too. And I just want to say, I think we are going to vanquish that monster at the end. So it'll all be good.
I hope so. I hope so.
I'm
Thank you.
sure we will. Yeah. Yeah, but thanks for sharing that. We have kids, so it's the same, ours are 5 and 9, so it's the same kind of how much do we tell them questions.
Exactly.
And yeah. So thanks for sharing that. That's really the first poem I can remember talking about that issue of what to tell the kids. Thanks for sharing it.
Okay, a pleasure. Thank you.
Bye. Okay, let's see who is up next. I just go in the order. So if you're coming in late, how this works is you just call or send me a chat message, and I will call you back in the order it was received. And we go for about an hour doing this every Sunday morning. So if we don't get to you this Sunday, there's always next Sunday, and I'm sure since everybody's still writing about the coronavirus, we did have about out of 500 poems, we had about maybe 5 that weren't about the coronavirus at all. Even tangentially. How do you say that word? Tangentially? Whatever. So maybe we'll get more and more that are not about it. But the coronavirus will be the subject for a long time. So if you want to call next week with your poem, if we don't get to you this week, feel free to do that. And join us every Sunday morning for about an hour talking about the news through poetry. I'm going to call up Holly Russell next. Hey, Holly, how you doing? Yeah, did you send... First of all, click on your camera button so I can see you, if you can. It's if you hover your mouse... There you go. Okay, yeah. Yep, there you go, except you're a little down. There you go. Okay, let me pull you in. Okay, you ready? Okay.
I have 2 poems. One's really short. And the other one's pretty short. Could I read both of them?
Oh, yeah,
because one
sure.
is so short. Is that okay?
Definitely. Let me find your poems. And
All right.
where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Darien, Connecticut.
Darien, Connecticut. Where in Connecticut is that? Is that the northern part? I never heard of that town.
No, it's very close to New York. So we are right outside the epicenter in the United States, I guess.
Are there a lot of infections in your town?
There's maybe, I think, 137 now. So it's not like crazy. It's a very small town, but next door to us.
My aunt lives in Bethel. Is that close?
Bethel is farther north. I think it's farther north on the coast, maybe. But,
yeah, it's pretty close to the coast, yeah.
Yeah.
So I have Spiky Balls and April Night. Are those the 2?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I got to pull them up on my end, too.
Okay.
I don't want to lose you.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, no, you can still see me, right?
Yep, we can see you.
Okay. All right. So which one should I read first?
Whichever one you want.
All right. Okay. Let me read Spiky Balls because it's short.
Okay.
And it's about when I did yard work, what I was thinking. Spiky balls. Spiky balls drop on the grass from the sweet gum tree. Spiky germs. Would that the tines of my rake might collect them and be done with it.
Ah, the spiky balls. There's a tree, I guess it's a sweet gum tree, at the apple farm we go to in the fall, and it has those spiky balls, and we never knew what kind of tree it was. So apparently it's a sweet gum.
I looked it up because I was like, these guys look like the virus. And
they really do. I hadn't thought of
that,
but yeah, the Corona tree. Yeah, that's cool. Well, thanks. And then the other one is April Night.
This is a poem I wrote. It was a very beautiful night a few weeks ago, and I looked it up in the Farmer's Almanac, and there was supposedly this like rose moon coming out, and I wanted to get at the contradiction between the beauty and the fierceness of nature at the same time on this beautiful night, and that people are dying. So it's called April Night. The sky flares with stars. Big cats prowl suburban yards. Fat buds pop a haze of acid leaves. And the moon shines down this breathless spring of our bewilderment, on a yearning that we're cautious to embrace.
Excellent. Thanks so much. Thanks for sharing that. And that was Holly Russell from Darien, Connecticut. Thanks for sharing that. And
Thank you, Tim.
stay safe and keep sending them in, and hope you call in again too.
I will. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Bye. Let's see. Next up, we have... trying to go down far enough. Let's call this 203 number. I love seeing everybody, but I also love the mystery of not knowing who's calling. So I'm calling a 203. Hey, this is Tim with Rattle. Who am I talking to? Hi, how you doing? Do you have a poem you wanted to read?
The one I sent in this week is called Will a Blessing Come from All of This? Because I was thinking, I was hearing the news, and they're talking about, all the vaccines that they're working on, and I was thinking, with all this going on, we're trying to find a cure for this coronavirus. Maybe they could find a cure for cancer and through it all. So here's my poem.
Okay, here, let me pull it up. Hang on one second. Let me find it for everybody. Okay, we have it. Yeah, will a blessing come from all of this? That's a good point, too. I wonder if nothing else, maybe a cure for the common cold, if we can cure coronavirus, right? There's a bunch of them called the regular cold. Okay,
you never know.
Yeah. So I'm ready. Will a blessing come from all of this?
Okay. Cooped up in our homes, facing the unknown, an invisible enemy, hoping they soon find a remedy. The world is silent and cold. Everything ahead of us is untold. Economic disaster is all around us. Devastation and unhappiness is surrounding us. Scientists and doctors everywhere working on some kind of cure. Laboratories and companies like Johnson & Johnson working on a vaccine. Pray someone comes up with soon so life can return to normalcy and musicians can write a tune. Maybe from all this suffering in their search for a vaccine for Corona VID, they might find a cure for cancer, Alzheimer's, strokes, heart disease, and diabetes too. A blessing will come for all mankind. Just keep staying positive with an open mind.
Excellent. Thanks so much. And that was Will a Blessing Come from All of This by Celine Mariotti from Shelton, Connecticut. Thanks so much for calling. And yeah, I like to stay positive. And I think, too, maybe something else will come from all this is that we get a better sense of our participation in government and in politics, maybe better in the end, I hope.
Yeah, stop all the bickering in Washington. And
I hope so.
Work
That'd be
for the
really good.
people.
Yeah, exactly. One can hope anyway. Well, thanks so much for calling, Celine, and hope you call again.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next up we have, trying to make sure I go in the right order, Jill Seebacher, if I'm saying that right. Let's see if I can find her poem before we even connect. That'd be good. Hey, Jill, this is, hey, there you are. Let me pull you in just one. Okay, here you go. Hello. So where are you calling from?
I am actually from Florida, but I am in Rhode Island right now. I go back and forth because my honey lives up here. So when lockdown came and I became an online professor, decided to do it from up here.
Not a bad idea. I'd rather be there than Florida.
It snowed yesterday,
did
though. It's like I'm used to 90 degrees and it's snowing still. This is crazy.
Yeah, it snowed here last week, but we're in the 60s now, so we're really happy up in the mountains to get some spring.
I'm looking forward to enjoying the neighborhood walk instead of suffering through it.
Yeah, well, here's to that. Okay, so A Fool for Everyone That I Don't Know, is that the poem?
Yeah, that's the one I think I'll read this week.
Great.
Yeah. Modest Mouse has been on my mind, obviously with Paper Thin Walls, if you look down the acrostic.
Oh, wow.
So when it's a project I'm working on where I am exploring the kind of relationship between songs and experience. And normally I've been going through my 47 years of life, but two of them have popped up Corona lately, and this is one of them. So here we go. A fool for everyone that I don't know. Perhaps they'll help, we're told, so we wear them. These masks I hate. Amulets fashioned from too many things. Like the senior last week with a plastic shopping bag where her face should be. Handles tucked behind her ears, she haunts me through the grocery aisles. My gloved fingers twitch. Resist the urge to rip away her mutant trunk, anxiety ratcheting up each time our carts pass, as if she's some suffocating infant I must protect from herself. Dairy to coffee, frozen foods to bread, whether I hurry or slow, inevitably her figure rounds a corner, startles me afresh. My tired eyes narrow behind breath-fogged glasses. Scan the shelves for hope in empty rows, where toilet paper castles once rose. Toddlers hid behind walls of paper towel and giggled as parents played patiently along, pretending not to hear the child laughter that floats now through memory, an infectious ghost, trailing its sticky little fingers across every surface encountered, cookie crumbs and rainbow sprinkles, trailing a path back home to a life unmasked and recognizable.
Thanks so much. And that was A Fool for Everyone That I Don't Know by Jill Seebacher. Thanks so much for sharing that, Jill. Another excellent poem.
Thank you. Thanks for doing this. It's awesome. Every week I've been tuning in, and it's been something to look forward to every week. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for watching every week, and I'm glad you could get in, and hope you do again soon.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye. Let's see. Who was next? I think Meredith Stewart. It's Joseph Estlock. Yep, let me give him a call. And I'll try to find his poem too before we even start. See, that's the way it should go. I should find the poem as the ring is ringing. Hey, Joseph, can you hear me? Hey, good. Let me play you in 1 second. There you are. Hello. So how are you doing today? Where are you calling from?
I'm good. I'm calling from Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Ah, okay. I know Lancaster.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I'm from Western New York, so we used to drive down there all the time. You know, when just driving around was fun for no reason.
Yeah, right on. We just moved out here from the Bay Area in California.
Oh, really? How do you like it?
It's great. It's close to my hometown, so I'm a little familiar.
Uh-huh. So the poem I have is Social Distances. Is that what you wanted to read?
Yeah, I'm sure you didn't get any other titles with that.
Yeah. I think social distance is, and so social distancing is a slight variation. And then we also have the love in the time of coronavirus or love in the time of COVID-19, which poets like to mix it up a little bit.
Sure.
So okay, so I got it on screen, ready to go whenever you are.
Great, thanks. It's good to share something so new. It's still a work in progress. So, social distances. Idle hands are the devil's workshop. One on the table is innocent enough. Drumming your fingers is instinctual. Dominoes can't help themselves. So it goes from pinky to thumb, a moment's metronome. The same performance on a mirror surface is more sinister. Mad scientists pull it off. They seem moved to applaud, but keep it secret. Basking for a minute, they would pray if their palms could touch. Instead, they form a pyramid and hold their vision in it. They could play accordions, but one can already be heard. The empty swivel chairs in their studies are left turning. They don't take to harmless hobbies. They are at work. The sounds of clinking blacksmiths and groaning organs pour out with the chimney smoke. The town's gossip that the basement lights are on all night. Their neighbors complain about the laughing. A mob forms. By that point, they've already lassoed the world 10 times, slipped their digits through the loopholes. Earth is their puppet. We are under their drum roll. What good are pitchforks and torches if you can't form a crowd? We are 6 feet apart, like the stars of funerals.
Very nice. Thanks so much for sharing that. That was Joseph Eslak from Pennsylvania. Excellent. I love the imagination, where you go with that. That was a really good one.
Cool. Thanks so much.
Yeah, have a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. About 12 minutes left until we have to sort of... we got a lot of people calling in. Thanks so much, everybody who would like to participate. I'm sorry that we're not going to be able to get to everybody. I will try to skip over people who I know we've called before. Not that I don't love you. I love you all. But let's see. And I appreciate that you're calling in multiple times too. Let's see. I'm going to call Layla Milak. I'm not sure. I should write down a list of who we've talked to like last week so I can filter a little bit. But I don't think we called Layla. Let's talk to Layla Malik. Hey Layla, this is Tim with Rattle, and let me pull you in. Hit the camera button if you can. Okay, well that's fine. We'll just do voice then. Let me pull you in so everybody can hear you at least. Okay, so this is Layla Malik.
Lila Malik.
Lila
Malik.
Yeah, not even close. Sorry.
It's all good. Thank you for trying.
Yeah, no problem. And where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Toronto.
Ah, okay, great. And you sent us over Skype. You sent me Plague Songs for Children, which I assume is what you want to read.
I did, yeah, and it's very fresh. I just actually got it all shaped up last night, and I've never done an open mic before, so thank you for letting me do this.
Well, thanks. It's really, really a pleasure to have you. You sound great, and looking forward to hearing this brand new, fresh poem.
Awesome, thank you. Plague Songs for Children. Don't touch the door. Don't touch windows. Walls, knobs, elevator buttons, guardrails, monkey bars. Do not touch the sole of your shoe, and never touch skin. Don't touch your lover's cheek. Don't touch your eyes, nose, mouth. Don't touch the sea creature deep asleep in the sediment of your heart. Don't touch. Its scales are coated in cytokine, and when roused, it will stretch the heavy muscle coil of its body. Gently embrace your organs and squeeze with every ounce of helpless prehistoric love. Don't touch your face. Now, sweet child, now is not a good time to touch the door. Ankle deep in the late winter muck of her backyard, Pops raises both palms to cold mist and says, I want to stake out the garden plot, but all the lesbians have lost their measuring tape. Scanning the horizon for some sign of Ishtar, she says, no one returns from the underworld unmarked. Touch seeds. Touch soil, touch copper. Touch soap and water for 20 seconds and sing a quiet happy birthday to someone beyond the walls. In your head, please. Touch the sun on the day it unhides, and any scrap of sky you catch inside the small rectangle of your basement apartment window between granite sidewalk and the concrete tower that went up across the street. Touch the bandana that traps your damp breath, but only touch it when tying it on and when ripping it off to prove you really are who you say you are. Officer, I promise. And then always, please, wash your hands. Wash your hands. Touch the powdered bones and papered lungs of grandparents who cackled their final curses, swimming through swarms of killer microbes. Touch strains of Bollywood on repeat from your broken-hearted neighbor's apartment. Over in the northwest corner of Pops's backyard, an army of motherwort is rumbling under dark earth.
Thanks so much, Lila. That was, what was that called? Plague Songs for Children. Thanks so much for that. I love the repeat of touch. It really worked, I thought.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for the opportunity.
Yeah.
And thanks for all of this. It's great.
Oh, my pleasure, always. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye. Yeah, we were, me and Megan were just talking the other day about how we kind of want to go to crowded Disneyland. Well, she does. It's still too much for me. But just the idea of being in a crowd is sort of a weird fantasy at this point. I don't know about everybody else, but that's something that just seems strangely appealing when it normally wouldn't. Let's see. How do you get to Holly? Let's do Mary Torregrosa. She's a very familiar face for locals. Mary used to come to our open mic at the Flint Ridge Bookstore, or not open mic, our reading series at the Flint Ridge Bookstore all the time. So it'd be nice to see Mary. Hey, Mary, how you doing? Can you hear me? Hello. Click off your YouTube really quick, like X out or mute it, so I can. There's no echo. Okay, let me pull you in now. Oh, we lost you for a second. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Mary, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Tim. Nice to see you.
It's really great to see you. It's such a familiar face. I think it's the first time somebody's called in that I actually know. So it's really great to see you. And how you guys holding up through the quarantine and all that?
Well, ups and downs of emotions.
Yeah.
I'm very organized, so that helps.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's tough. Sometimes we just spend our time outside and say, what quarantine?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What pandemic?
Yeah, it's the same here. It's a weird, surreal feeling too. It's almost like part of the time you don't realize, don't believe it's real or something, or at least I don't.
Yes, hard to believe it's real.
Yeah. Did you submit a poem? I'm not finding anything.
I sent it through email.
Okay, let me see. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I give a pause.
Yes.
Okay.
We pause for nothing in particular.
Yeah, we pause for nothing in particular. Okay, let's see. Here we go.
I'd like to say hello to the woman who's in Rhode Island, because that's where I'm from.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm trying to get it sized right. Let's see. One second. Okay, we got it. This is okay. Okay, we pause for nothing in particular.
Suddenly it stopped. All the sweeping and the sorting and the filling of boxes. We can't say exactly why, how we knew when to stop and sit and cross our legs on a sofa filled with, well, anything we didn't know what to do with. We started when the sun rose, determined to make this quarantine count. And then we stopped at the same time, like the old married couple we were, sensing the other's rhythm and cadence. A small life, like a million others, making small decisions, keep or throw away, because nothing else made sense but to decide the fate of souvenirs and stuff from the junk drawer, and wait for the angel of death to pass over our heads on its way to the next destination.
Thanks so much, Mary, for sharing that. And great poem, and glad I could call in, and it's really nice to see you.
Yeah, same here. Yeah. And hello around the world.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
It really is. Yeah, it's really cool that we could do this. Thanks a lot. Talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Yeah, Mary it makes me miss the live poetry series we used to do. Was at the Flint Ridge Bookstore once a month for 10 years, I think we had, in Los Angeles, north of Los Angeles, I should say. we had a poet and then an open mic. We had a few poets and an open mic every what was it, second Sunday or something like that. Let's see. And then we also have the Wrightwood Literary Festival, which Mary comes to frequently as well, which I'm not sure if we'll have it this year or not. I'm still on the fence. It's in September, and I don't think we'll be done with this beast by then, but I don't know, it's hard to make decisions like that. It's hard to know. Let's see. We have 2 minutes until the top of the hour. We'll probably get to maybe 2 more people. I'll do the next caller. I don't think I've done the 785 number yet. So whoever is from 785, that's who I'm calling up. And then we'll do one more poet after that. We'll do Michael McDonald over Skype. So Michael, get ready. And here is the 785 number. The phone is ringing. Which you can hear. I'll let you hear a ring. Well, whoever... I thought they were picking up for a second. Oh, well, she didn't answer. That was someone named Kara. Let's try... I'll try the next number up on the list, which is a 626 number. And this is ringing too. Hey, this is Tim with Rattle, calling you if you'd like to read a poem. Do click mute or click out of your YouTube stream so there's no echo, though, because I can hear myself. Yeah, Mary. Well, can you turn off your stream, your video that you're watching, because I can hear myself if you haven't yet. There you go. I think it's better now. Are you still there? Well, I hear myself and nothing else. I'm gonna have to hang up. I'm so sorry, but we'll try again next time. Sorry about that. Mary, it was Mary we were talking to, whoever, another Mary, but yeah, you have to turn off your YouTube stream or Facebook, wherever you're watching it. This is also on Periscope and Facebook too, but wherever you're watching it where there's audio, you have to turn that off, or else you hear me out of one ear from a minute ago and me right now, and it's confusing. Let me try the 859 number. Let's see. Hey, this is Tim with Rattle. Did you want to read a poem?
I would love to.
Well,
let's see okay. What do I need to do? I've got Skype open, I think, and
yeah, you're good. You're on the phone. You're live on the air. Who am I talking to first of all,
okay.
and where are you calling from?
Oh, okay. I'm calling from Lexington,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And who
hello?
am I talking?
Are you there?
Yeah, it dropped out for a second. I don't know if you're on a cell phone or
Okay.
something. But so who am I talking to?
Lisa Kendrick.
Lisa Kendrick. Okay.
Yeah.
Kendrick, let me try to find your poem. Did you submit it through?
I submitted this week. I submitted one, and I submitted one last week that I was actually thinking week instead, but I don't know if you can still get to it.
Yeah, I can get to it. It logged me out though, so I have to log back in. I guess my little cookie was expired or something. Okay, let me see. Lisa Kendrick. How do you spell Kendrick? Am I not typing it right?
It's so it's Kendrick, but the first name is Letha. It's Leatha.
Oh, Lea. Oh, Letha.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds familiar. Right. Okay.
Everyone mishears it. Yeah.
Okay, so which one do you want to read? I have Nights in Quarantine, Social.
Yeah.
Nights in Quarantine is the one?
That's the one, I think. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, it's ready to go.
All right. Nights in Quarantine. It was dark. Each of us islanded, sleeping, not sleeping, standing at the sink, the forgotten water running, the glass in our hand. Nothing visible to orient to, except the edge of the bed, the bare hallway floor, dim in the nightlight's small glow. It felt as if this was all we could know. So we lay down, stared at the ceiling, our breath the only moving thing, we thought, until the cat turned twice and licked her hind foot, or the dog settled, sighed and settled deeper in. Some got up and read. Some of us, God forbid, turned on the news. The rest waited, and at last the planet's shift beneath us signaled no more hope for this night's sleep. We made our tea or coffee, the sky shiny black beyond the panes, but thinning somehow, the impossible blue materializing, bringing the trees and the sidewalk back, giving us edges and eggs and avenues, the blossoming trees, the mockingbirds, swooping in pairs, bringing tomorrow.
Thanks so much. That was Latha Kendrick reading Nights in Quarantine. Latha from Lexington, Kentucky, if you missed that earlier. Thanks so much for calling in, Latha. It's a great pleasure to hear you read your poem.
Thanks a lot for the chance. I've really enjoyed this and been enjoying listening these few weeks.
Great, thank you. Well, we're going to do it every single Sunday, I think, from the rest of my life. So I
All
hope you
right.
keep enjoying it. It's a lot of fun, and it's really not not that hard to do. So I'm enjoying it too. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye. Okay, so one more caller, and the last one up is I mentioned before. I just have to find it again. Michael McDonald. Oh, it's Jessica Dawson calling from. She says it's Jessica Dawson. It'll probably say Michael McDonald. LOL. Yeah, it did. So here comes Jessica Dawson, and there's two Jessica Dawsons who, which is a funny part. I think, unless it's like a big prank. Jessica, hey, let me pull you in. If click on your camera if you want, so we can see you. If you hover your mouse over the screen, the video. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Hey, good to see you. And I have to ask, which Jessica Dawson are you? Because that's the funny thing is, either it's a prank that you're just like pulling off, or there's actually two Jessica Dawsons who comment on our videos and stuff all the time.
Yeah, the quarantine really brought us together.
Are you friends now on Facebook?
No, but we should be.
You should be. That would be even more confusing.
It confuses me sometimes because I'll be reading poems and looking at the comments section, and I'm like, I don't remember saying that, and it's because I didn't. So.
Yeah. So I know one of the Jessica Dawsons is in British Columbia. Is that you, or is that the other Jessica Dawson?
I'm the Chicagoan.
You're the Chicago Jessica Dawson. Okay, and so let's see. Is it Dear Ghost Boy that you submitted?
It is, yeah.
Okay, great. Let me pull it up. So you're in Chicago. How are things in Chicago?
They're not bad. We will drive out to forest preserves because those aren't locked down, and there's not a lot of people out. We're wearing our mask. We're not, super breaking rules, but it's not bad. I feel like everybody's like following the rules and participating in the lockdown. For a big city, we're really handling it.
Well, that's great to hear. Yeah. It's hard to know for us because we're up in a tiny town up in the mountains. So here feels sort of like normal, and every once in a while we have to go down, or I have to go down in the city area, and I never know what to expect, and then it feels strangely more normal than I think it will, or something. It's been a bizarre month for sure.
Yeah, I can't. Obviously, I don't like that people are suffering at all, but for me, I really have been enjoying the world.
Yeah, I hear you. Slowing things down is really something that we all need, I think, a little bit, and don't realize we need it.
Yeah. That being said, this poem is one of your 5 that doesn't super have to do about the quarantine.
Great. Oh, good. Let's see what it's about. AI translates human brain activity into text. That was the article that you used. So what are you writing about?
So when I when I first found this article, because I was desperately searching for something that wasn't about the virus, I saw this, and I recently read a book called Ghost Boy by Martin Pistorius, and he had locked-in syndrome. And probably a more prolific person that everybody might know is Jean-Dominique Bauby, who is the French editor of Elle. And he had a stroke and also had locked-in syndrome. And I was just thinking about how incredible this technology can be for people who haven't been able to speak, who are paralyzed, and
So what is locked-in syndrome? Is that like you seem like you're in a coma, but your brain still has activity? Is that what
exactly
locked-in syndrome is? Yeah, that's terrifying. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's, so I only watched the movie The Diving Bell and the Butterfly, which was beautiful. But having read the book by Martin, it was, it's horrifying. And because people don't treat you like a real person, like he goes through accounts of his nurses abusing his body and everything like that. And he's like, and he can't do anything about it. He can't physically move. So he writes an account about it as later he comes out of being locked in. But not everybody gets to. So I think this will just be an incredible way to be able to give them voices.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so I have the poem ready if you want to read it.
Okay. So, Dear Ghost Boy, my diving bell becomes less oppressive and my mind takes flight like a butterfly. Jean-Dominique Bauby from The Diving Bell and the Butterfly. The world is locked in. I'm thinking about you sitting with your wife in South Africa and wondering if you made a joke over your breakfast teas about the irony in all of this. I was thinking about Bobby as a butterfly. Were you aware that he was locked in too? I know you never met my mother, but this news reminds me of her and how she talked using gentle squeezes. I'll tell you the headline. For first time in history, AI learns to translate silent human brain activity into text for locked-in syndrome patients. I am imagining a world sweetened by the voiceless. My heart only went bitter briefly. I wept through the pages of your memoir. Bobby blinked his life into a novel. Someone once called my mother a shell. But this news is beautiful. Think about all the bodies shedding their diving bells for the first time in their crystallized states. Think about all those brand new butterflies soon to be unleashed in this crazy world.
Thanks so much, Jessica Dawson. That was once again Dear Ghost Boy. And that's really cool. It's a good example of what the show will be once we get out of the coronavirus, because it's so cool to read about a story like that, which I hadn't heard. I've also never watched The Diving Bell and the Butterfly, which now I want to. And so that's my experience every week doing Poets Respond, is I like, oh, wow, that's a cool news story. And then, oh, I got to watch that movie or something. So, it's not all about one topic. We get to hear a lot of different topics and what it means to you, which is a really cool thing. So thanks so much for sharing that. I'm really glad. It's a great way to end today's show.
It was really nerve-wracking for me. I don't know if you could hear my voice shake, but
well, it was great. You did great, and now you're a pro, so you can do it. You can call in whenever you want.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye. That's our show for today. Thanks everybody for joining us. I really had a good time despite my my discombobulation at first. I got rid of at some point I got rid of my my clothes hamper that I was folding last night, and everything settled in and ended up being a really nice show. So thanks so much for joining us. And before we go, I should say this week's guest is going to be George. Oops, that was last week's guest. This week's guest is George Bilgier on the Rattlecast. He's a Cleveland poet, and oops, hang on a second. I don't want it to be that loud. I want some background music. So George is a Cleveland poet. He's the host of Wordplay, a radio station show there in Cleveland, and a really excellent poet. He's one of the more entertaining, funny, good guys. I talk to him. I always talk to everybody before the show. Oh, I have two. I'm playing the wrong song. That's what's going on. Well, we have different bumper music this time. That's fine. This is Sunset by somebody, another free song. Anyway, so yeah, George Bilgier, I talked to him on yesterday and had a really fun conversation. And it's going to be a good show on Tuesday. So join us April 21st, Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, for George Bilgier talking about his new book, Blood Pages. And join me every week for these Poets Respond live shows and the what's it called? The Critique of the Week on Fridays. We do a lot of video here, which is a lot of fun because I have this set up and it's really easy to do, and I enjoy it, and I hope you do too. If you do, please click the like button and share and tell all your friends. And I have to say, too, Rattle's a publication of the Rattle Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit working to promote the practice of poetry. We've been in continuous publication since 1995, and we just do it because we love sharing stories through poetry, which is the oldest art, I think, and the most important art for human cognition, frankly. So I love poetry, and you love poetry, and we all sit around loving poetry together. So please click like and share and subscribe and all that wherever you're watching this. I appreciate it. If we didn't get to you this week, call back in next week, and we will get to you then too. In the meantime, have a good one and stay safe. Goodbye.